Welcome back to Workers and Resources. Last episode we built our TV station and we are trying to fix potential heating and electricity issues in the area. We might have to shut down our TV station until we can resolve that, because at night we are running into some power capacity issues. But for now it's going to be okay. We'll just deal with some rolling blackouts. What are we going to do today? Well, on one hand we are going to continue our construction of the road leading to our new town. I can't remember the name yet of that town, but road construction is ongoing. And power line construction and rail construction. I think the rail might beat the road, but I'm not 100% sure. And once we get here, we'll set up our construction industry. Unloading platforms for fuel and bitumen. And then get some machinery over and get ready for some mass construction projects. I like the look of this town. I'm also pretty happy with the rail line. Didn't really follow the grid too much, and I think it looks way more natural that way. The road I'm also fairly happy with, minus the occasional traffic jams, but I think it's doing okay most of the time. We still need traffic lights here. Alright, we might have to institute some traffic lights in this area. I mean, it's still working, it's just I don't know how to drive here. It's ridiculous. Let's give priority to the road that is not the gas station. Such a shame that they're driving this way. This might cause the gas station to just fill up and not have the vehicles go out anymore at all, because they're all trying to go across here. Well, I guess this is working somewhat. I think this might be too far away for electricity. No, it does have electricity, okay. And I guess we'll make this into 2 cycles and just see if it improves traffic flow. Each side will get a chance to drive, so the gas station might not need as long of a duration to cycle, but we'll see. At least it should mean that both of them have a chance to be mobile, and it might improve overall traffic flow, so we'll keep it. I did not put a road here, did I? Because I was waiting for the heat pump, the heat exchanger to be finished. But now we can build both of these. And that should solve our rolling blackout problems. They're already putting up more residential buildings. We'll just let it happen. Electricity is maybe going to run into a few issues, but it's the start of the year. It's gonna be warm enough. It's gonna be fine. Yeah, I'm sure. It's probably going to be fine. Not a lot of traffic. That will resume as soon as the new residential buildings come online. And maybe by then we also have this area set up. But yeah, it's just gonna slowly keep going like that. You're gonna alternate, that is also fine. Traffic is moving. With the occasional parked cars. Yeah, this is probably okay. Not really in the sense of a highway, but yeah. And this merging into leaving again is also not ideal for traffic, but what can you do? I guess we could have made a gas station up here, where everyone who wanted to use the gas station would have to leave the highway, and then add 4 less intersections. Well, we still have the intersections, but they would have used a bridge to get across, I guess. Still building, or at least trying to build, some new parking lots here, because some of these people did not have access to any cars at all, or they have run out of options. Religious sympathy is really low, which is good to see. Closing the church was a good idea. Yeah, this is working okay. I don't see a problem with a few stopped cars if we get all of them moving, so seems to be running at an okay pace for both of the sides. No issues with that. This residential building is probably going to finish before our electricity issue is resolved, since this is going to take a little bit longer. We shall assign some workers here as well. Yeah. The residential building construction is going at a slow rate, but it is continuous. 5 people max, but 5 people at most of the time. Loyalty is maybe now at a 60%, so also still climbing. We shall probably increase the loyalty requirement to 60%, and that should keep our loyalty gain high. And we'll also increase it for our professors, requiring our students to be at least 50% loyal. Same with the secret police. I'll require 70% from them already, I think. That's probably okay. Prison, 65. School, 65 as well. Maybe 65 is a little bit too high. Let's go 60. Now with the higher loyalty, our workers should also be more effective at their job. So we can probably decrease the amount of propaganda and get some culture, happiness, and not lose any loyalty in our incarcerated population. What was I thinking here? Yes, that's fine, right. You can go in here or leave that way. Wait a second. That is only useful for vehicles that come from this side. If vehicles come from this side, I guess they can still drive in here and then leave this way. Let's maybe redo these. Not exactly sure what I was thinking, but if I wanted that set up like that, then a junction like this makes more sense. I probably had a thought process that, since I haven't played in a day or two, I forgot. Alright, construction of, well, the digging of the medium voltage wire has sped up a little bit with some workers on site. They will not beat the residential building construction, but that's okay. We will not run into heating issues, and if we run into electricity issues that are severe, we can just turn off the TV station for a bit. I already did a pretty good job at boosting the loyalty in the local area. We have enough professors at high loyalty, we have enough warders. Seems okay. Why are you not building anything? Are you set to like minimum range? Yes, you are. Alright. Go forth and build stuff, please. Dump trucks. There we go. Search distance for the dump trucks was a bit short. Still need to rethink this whole loop situation. I think what I'll do is I'll build another road here, so the dump trucks can just use that path to loop around, instead of driving into town to turn around. I can just use this dirt road to use this loop, as it was before. Should really prevent people from doing this kind of thing, but there's only construction offices here, so that shouldn't really be a concern. Low happiness. Lots of unemployment in here. Well, the bus is still moving and carrying over a few people every now and then. Supposedly. Just did a refuel. If we already have that many unemployed people, then adding more Why do we have that many unemployed people in here? Can't you, like, get a job, go to a parking lot and take a vehicle? Probably not. Alright. A few more cars for more people. This is... I don't know why we have that much unemployment all of a sudden. I thought most of them were going to work inside the TV station. But it looks like that's not the case. Someone is working in the TV station. And it might be the other buildings, and this residential block doesn't really have access to the other parking lots. So if they can't work in the TV station, then they're a little bit screwed. That's the new residential block that just came online. No, yes. It is. Okay, so that explains the unemployment. Another one coming online soon. Let's provide jobs locally to all the people. Just crank all of these to maximum. Let everyone work locally. Sure. We're for full employment. That's what we are here for. To take a few people from all residential buildings, it looks like. That one will as well. And then one more. Well, if it was hooked up with a constructed footpath, but that one is being constructed, so at some point it will be. The electric substation is almost done. The wire is still taking a while. Got a little bit of a path left. And it was somewhat underground, so I'll have to dig a little bit further, deeper. The heating pipe has been almost fully dug out, so we can already start assigning some workers to that as well. Oh yeah, we have a few more constructions that need to be done before this building can count as accessible. For example, this groundworks. It is already assigned. Is there a vehicle on its way? Yes, excavator. Not too long until it reaches there, I guess. Was just refueling. Another happiness low warning. It did take a bunch of people with like access to a church, so they are really unhappy about not being able to visit a church locally. And they'll either have to get used to that or leave. Because we're not going to open the local church. I guess that would also be an interesting challenge. Spirituality access for everyone. So you would need to turn your church into like a always accessible hub. There are the rolling blackouts. They're only from one substation that is kind of overworked. And hopefully we'll resolve that in a bit. Gonna take a little bit longer though. We also need that transformer. We have some locally employed people building that. Well, employed. Some local residents living here. They are also locally employed, but not by the construction site. But they are allowed to do that. Let's let as many people as they want onto these construction sites for, well, I guess the heat exchanger itself. The residential buildings don't need that change anymore. There we go, a bunch more people with religion sympathy, lots of unemployment, but they will find employment locally. Pretty sure of that. We have to move some more people in the oil refinery. How many people do we have now? 3,000. 2,000 workers. It's not bad. I don't remember if I said I wanted 10,000 people or 10,000 workers. I think I said 10,000 workers. Heat exchanger is up, just need the pipe. That one is ready, just needs some workers. Workers are on their way. Lots and lots of workers are on their way. Even directly driving there, so... yeah, some... oh no, we did buy newer cars. Some coupes. Coupes. I guess with opening up all of these local workplaces, I don't really find many people being able to get to local construction sites anymore. But I can change that by adding a footpath here. And that way they can build this thing as well. Maybe don't send that many workers here yet. Groundworks can be done by machinery, and we still need the resources for the construction job after. There's a lot of employment possible here. I guess I could just go for a lot more residential buildings than I think I can. Could plop down a residential building right here or two, and I think I'll do that. Maybe leave enough room for pedestrian crossing. I'm gonna go a bit crazy with how much population we want in this area. That switch is in the way, but there is also another thing in the way. That is a tunnel. Can I line this up? That looks pretty good. Very high housing density. Right. Premium residential buildings with an overlook of whatever cars are coming into town. Basically, this is going to be a lot of residential buildings with grandmas poking their heads out of the windows to look at all the cars that are driving by, and they will never be bored, because there's always cars driving by. What are our electricity access areas here? Do we have anything on here? We might have to build another one. I don't think this one is going to be sufficient. Yeah. We'll schedule another electric substation in the area. And we'll hook that up to probably this option. Well, if the tunnel allows us to. Might have to relocate that one. Should be okay. Alright. We'll go 2-3 clicks underground. Keep going that way, and then you need to go like 2 clicks underground here, and then hook up here. That seems okay. Straight lines for the win. That will provide electricity to the area. We have an option to connect this road here. I don't know if I want to do that, so I won't right now. I could let traffic in through that way. Like, I could let traffic in through here into the town area. So they bypass this whole thing. Interesting idea. We'll try. We can always tear up the road after. We'll make this a one-way road. And then traffic can turn in here for these parking lots or these parking lots. And avoid this whole intersection and this merging shenanigan. More employment in this building as well. I don't know if you... I don't think this should have an effect on how many people locally visit this, but I'll just turn it down to minimum price, I guess. Maybe it does actually have an effect. Interesting. Or maybe that was just coincidence. Or maybe not. I don't know. We'll have a bunch of more people moving in into this area. We'll see if it matters. These ones should all have walking access to the whole commercial area. I don't think they will get a parking lot, so they will have to find a place to work. They might be able to work in the prison. So we might have a footpath connection over here once the road has been completed. The secret police and the courthouse are also options. Yeah, we'll connect this up. I think. If it lets us, it doesn't, because there's plenty of tunnels in the area. So maybe the footpath tunnel has to be on that end. Right next to the prison, so if anyone tries to flee, they just jump into the tunnel and they're right at the courthouse, I guess, if that makes any sense. Probably not. Oh right, that's the connection. Oh, cool. We can also build footpaths now without a direct connection. Neat. It's a very deep underground footpath. path now. Not sure if that is going to be useful for anyone, but it means people can walk from here also into the commercial district, so why not? The heat exchanger for this area will be relieved a little bit by that one. And these buildings might be in range of direct heating from the heating plant. Medium voltage wire is done, dug out. Needs a delivery of electronic components and then a few workers, and it'll be complete. Just gotta wait for covered hull truck to do the delivery of materials, and we're good. I don't really have a construction office for just hull trucks. That's what I still need. I built the parking lots too early, now I can't fit the construction office here, I guess. Oh, never mind. I still can. Clicking was enough to make that work. So we'll make a hull truck construction office where we get a bunch of open hull trucks and some covered hull trucks, and then we probably can make these obsolete. I guess maybe keep some of them for excavators. Pretty happy that I was able to build that construction office right there. I was complaining about not being able to because of this parking lot, but clicking once flattened the area as much as it was necessary, and now it's, yeah, it's there. Should I speed up the construction of this? No one's complaining about unemployment, so why not? Let's build it. All resources are there. The electric wire is on high priority. The electronic components are present. No car is on its way yet. We will change that by telling everyone from that building to go to the bus stop or bus platform. And that should allow some construction officers to pick them up. So now we're vehicles bringing workers. Shouldn't take too long. It will also help the heating pipe to get built and everything else pretty much. Downside will be that there might be a bunch of unemployment because the construction office vehicles will not be here that quickly. But that's fine. Should not forget to unassign that. New residential building is up. We also don't know if the school can reach all of them. You can reach all of these residential buildings, that is good. That's how it should be. Might need another kindergarten though. Definitely another kindergarten once those 3 buildings come online. But man, the expansion of the workforce in this area is now like going a little bit fast compared to what I usually do. So hopefully that doesn't create any problems. Alright, there's the wire. Still no electricity because there's no electricity here. That wire hasn't been built yet. We'll assign the workers to all of these. Get that online. Hopefully that won't take too long. The materials are already all there. Just a few cars with some people, maybe some road cranes. And construction should be a matter of a few days. Okay, there's a little bit of confusion in this area. The priority should be vehicles trying to move on the outside, with vehicles coming from the bus stop not having the priority. Let's check our construction progress going towards the town. This road has not been assigned, so we'll pick our road construction officers and assign 4 construction tasks for now. I guess that should be enough. Dump trucks and everything. I guess we can do 5. I don't know why they need to do anything here. That shouldn't be anything. I think that's like a little bit bugged out, but it's fine. We will remove the dirt roads that aren't necessary anymore. Gas station also needs construction. Decent progress. They probably already have all the materials here. For the wind turbine, yes, but for the gas station itself, not yet. This is looking better. We're getting a lot of workers without an increase in traffic quite yet. The downside being is that we are running out of money, but hopefully with the increase in workers, a few more people are deciding to go back to the oil refinery. Still no power. Workers are on their way here. Road crane is on site. We have transformer. We have that building being constructed. I guess if we have a transformer here, that gives us more options. I guess I could have hooked up the electricity from this town to that transformer, but the village was probably about the same distance, and the village isn't really scheduled to get much more electricity anyway. I think we're still importing electricity for stability's sake. The amount of worker in our power plant is just too... it fluctuates too much. If I tore down all of the parking lots or made them inaccessible, maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe instead of blocking the footpath, maybe I should block the road access, so no one can drive in here. Maybe that accounts for People trying to visit the power plant. I don't know about if it accounts for people trying to come back to where they live. So you live in a power plant prefab flat, and you were trying to head back to your parking lot, but what I'm looking for is basically no motor vehicles except residential. I don't think we have that. Alright, then I can't do that. Was just a thought. Lots of traffic going this way. People living inside the village going back and forth, I guess. There's one wire. There's wire. Looks like we should have electricity now. And we do. So the electricity issue in this area should now be resolved. There might still be some capacity issues. We'll have to keep an eye out on the network. Let's check the wires. That one is like at half capacity. That one is at barely no capacity, but it basically jumps in as soon as this one runs too much, at too high of a capacity, so I think that's okay. That one has access to the TV station, and so does that. So they should help each other stay below the limit. How's our shopping center? Let's reduce the price level here also. I mean, it shouldn't really have an effect, right? I thought it was just for tourism. But I guess it also makes it attractive for some people to go there more often. By a lot. Okay. That's fine. We now have some road access to this area, but it's not final yet. We are up to 3,300 population, 2,100 workers, and increasing. Every time we build a new residential building, we're taking some of the people from here, some of the people from all over the map, putting them into buildings, but we're also freeing up some of the residential buildings that already exist so we can grow our population a little bit more. We need to take care and get some more money. I don't think we have to force people in this bus stop anymore, but it doesn't really hurt for like our construction projects. Yeah, road construction down here is progressing. Seems to be working alright. The dump trucks have to take a very long trip to get here, but it does have to be done. I could just build like gravel paths and cut out the asphalt, but don't feel like doing that. I hope we have enough people coming by car to work in the concrete plant. That singular worker is gonna leave soon, and then all the concrete trucks are gonna run or leave without any concrete in their storage area. And those concrete trucks, or well, concrete mixers, are needed for this building construction. And that one. And maybe also that one. This is an amount of traffic that works very well, I think. It's working pretty good. With the extra residential buildings, it might increase again, but so be it. We need more workers. I'll complain about traffic jams later. Right now we need more people. Water and sewage are hooked up. I have to take a look if water consumption is maybe increased and our water trucks are too busy, but one water truck is still around, not doing anything. Should be okay. Oh, look at all that traffic. It's beautiful. There's no traffic jam in the inner city area. Looks quite nice. I like it. This area here, it is what it is, I guess. I might build some traffic lights here. It usually works fine because I put a traffic light at the end of the tunnel, so they usually bunch up in like a group of vehicles, so it doesn't create a large traffic jam in this area. When all of those join this road, they come as a group of vehicles and then not as like individually spread out cars. At least that's how they should do it. The merging onto that lane, painful. If I could swap these lanes and have this lane go to town and the bridge here, I should have probably done that, but I didn't know there was that much traffic. But then it probably would have created the same issue with people going to town, trying to turn off to the right, and yeah, might not have made any difference. Loyalty shouldn't be a problem anymore, even in the village, as long as the population does have electronics, or a TV, I guess. Saturation of that is still quite low. But if they have a car, they can drive into town and buy one. Bricks for footpaths. Yeah, that's okay. Those footpath tunnels do require materials as well. Oh yeah, I disconnected you. I don't think I wanted to hook you up anymore. I think that's okay. Basically prevented me from making a traffic light junction on this end. Could hook you up to this siding. Like that, a connection pretty much. And vehicles can drive in here, turn right, or they can go here, turn right and join this area. Or go through the tunnel and pop out this end and drive back into town. These areas are usually only for maintenance, but maybe there's some merit to bypass everything and go right to the parking lots. I don't think there will be a lot of traffic here, but who knows, maybe it's gonna be a very popular road. Some construction materials are now arriving. Just 6 or 7 more deliveries of prefab panels and the first residential block of the area will be built. Yeah, haven't reached the town yet. If I can make gravel there, then we're like golden, because then the town is functioning and I can add things onto it. I was thinking about the steel mill. Similar capacity as the oil refinery, plus iron and coal mines, but supplying those with like cars is gonna be a challenge. wonder if I should set up running water. I don't really want to, gotta be honest. But I guess I could start setting up a water tower so I have water available locally. So they don't have to drive to the customs house and back. It would just require a water purification plant and a water tower and some pumps and a water well, I guess. And a parking lot, so people can drive and work there. Water tank export 30 cubic meters would not be enough, so a water tower would definitely be on the agenda. Yeah, 10 workers. Lots of capacity. I don't see a reason that that would be a problem. Probably something for this area, right here. Maybe not there, maybe next to these parking lots. And we can also use a big water well. 215 cubic meters into 300 cubic meters. That would be so much water, it would be such overkill. But it would create employment opportunities, so why the hell not? Big water well right next to the road. I guess if we do that, we would increase the demand for like chemicals. But chemicals are not hard to get here. We could even set up a warehouse and then deliver them by train. I don't think that would be a bad idea, actually. Might have to build it somewhere else, though. We will set up water purification, but not right now. It'll probably be set up in the western end of town. Or next to the prison up here. With maybe some parking lots coming off of this bypass road, so they have to leave here, get to the water purification, and then they can drive back into town with this road. Not gonna force them to get across and then drive back this way. We have water purification here and a warehouse. We might have a train route from here, cutting across and supplying something into the warehouse. I did not set to get workers in these, did I? Get citizens, get them. Well, if we have people in excess, then they can start moving into this building, that's fine. Could get a few more prison transports, not prison buses, but prison transports, to drop more prisoners into the heating plant, I guess, for a little bit of extra safety. Does our heating reach this residential building? Yes, it does. Okay, so we don't need another heat exchanger in the area. It's good to know. Yeah, seems like our residential area here can hold a lot more workers and also serve for a lot more employment if we just let these buildings have as many people as they want. Still not making any money again, because we just have too many people doing things locally. Especially the hospital. Let's decrease that again, that's a little bit overkill. The prison being the other thing, but that one is mostly people arriving here by car, I guess. Police and the courthouse also take a lot of workers. I hope that when these residential buildings come online that we finally have an excess of workers again and some of them can go back to the oil refinery. Not just those that get transported there. No flickering power. Everything seems fine. These buildings don't seem to have electricity. Oh, they do. Just no one's living here. Alright, that's fine. That's fair. There is some traffic happening again, so there's that. It's slowly increasing again. Definitely need workers for these buildings. They are like very important, but can't really tell them to do that. Need a more consistent supply of workers in the area. Just need to increase our population count and hope that that fixes it. Winter is slowly creeping up. Autumn has started. Temperatures will now slowly start decreasing as time goes on. And hopefully we won't run into any issues. This one is still limited with footpath distance. There's no footpath exit here. You can use that one. And then maybe make a connection through here. And then allow people that are living here to reach this. If I upgrade this footpath, it could disrupt the workers in the prison, so I need to set up a different connection first. This one is too short of a footpath, so that one won't do. I also still need to hook up this thing. And I guess one of these will have to do. Once that is in place, we can tear up this dirt footpath and hook it up properly. This road is done. Let's turn it into a one-way road so no one drives the opposite direction. Don't want vehicles leaving here and then going into this tunnel or something strange. And it should basically take any vehicle that's coming from this way and want it to turn up here. So this road might become empty. Except for... I don't know which... ambulances can't cross it here. Guess we'll make this a two-way road again. That will allow vehicles to turn around here if they really want to. But I don't know if there's any demand for it. Delivery of steel, 2 deliveries of prefabs. All of them on their way. And we'll get a huge influx of workers locally. We don't have a lot of wardens anymore. I'm not sure why. Kindergarten. Maybe because I increased the heating plant and they think they don't have to go there anymore. 50%. There should be way more people moving here. Well, these residential buildings will solve that. They will definitely be within walking distance of the prison. And maybe in the walking distance of the heating plant. Maybe. Oh, there's a sewage switch here. I forgot I removed that dirt footpath. We need that back, I guess. Come on, just a bit more steel. It's on its way. I think I saw the truck here. Maybe not. Was a mixer. There it is, I think. And there we go, residential building finishing up. And filling up with people instantly. Lots and lots of unemployment. Still don't have our new electrical substation up here, but it's almost there. Substation will come online first, and then the wire just needs a few components, some workers. Shouldn't take too long. You can already walk into the prison, which is nice. I'll unassign you from being only able to work in these, so if you want to take a car and go somewhere else, you can do that. I think that is okay. Because now we can tear up this footpath. I think we can hook that up here. We get rid of the snapping point. Alright, that thing. Let's make sure not to accidentally remove a very large tunnel. I almost did that. There's a tunnel underneath here. You gotta be very careful. Alright, snapping point removed. Now we can make this connection here and use that as our footpath. Can't cook that up yet. Still. That, however, would work. So it's not going to be perfectly straight, but at least we can make all of the connections happen. We'll get all of these footpaths assigned for construction. Conveyor engine transfer. In the oil refinery area, there it is. No problem. Yeah, all the people that moved in, full employment instantly, no problem. Pretty good. Let's reduce the amount of workers here. It's going to take a longer time. Now the heating plant is very undersupplied with workers since I unassigned the residential building to send its workers here. Hopefully we can get the footpaths done in time, I guess. should speed things up since we can build them at the same time now. Yes, heating is decreasing. You know what? All of you work in the heating plant, that's your job. Do it. It's 97 workers, 30 people in the heating plant, a few people can be unemployed, no kindergarten, etc. And that's fine. Make sure we have enough staff in that building. Keep the heating up. It's only 15 degrees and the heating was going down, so that's not great. Though with 13 workers we are reaching like full productivity, which is scary. Maybe you don't need a full complement of workers to run full productivity. Yeah, we need another kindergarten, I guess. At some point. Can probably fit one in up here. Right next to the secret police. Between the prison and the secret police. Happiness too low. Well, yes, you still have a lot of religion sympathy. We'll get rid of that. You can probably use our TV station for that. $50-50. 20% anti-religious propaganda, which should decrease religion sympathy quite quickly. How's loyalty? 70% maybe? We have people with 97% loyalty in here, and the building is without drinking water. Drinking water was just delivered. I need to make the water purification in this area. It's probably a good idea to have it up here, since it might be within walking distance from these residential buildings. Then we wouldn't need any vehicles, I guess. We'll make 2 water towers, pretty much. Don't need heating, don't need sewage, just electricity, which is present. So what I said is we'll make 2 water towers, one for the water that gets pumped out of the ground. I think. That will provide the unpure water in this area. Impure water. Then we'll have another water tower where we have our purified water, drinking water. With another water pump. That's not nice. Guess if we ever want to have anything up here, we have the road connection. And then, once everything has been built and hooked up, we have purified water in this area. And I'm not gonna hook it up directly to the substations. It might make sense to hook up the oil refinery because it can theoretically use a lot of drinking water at once. But we don't have a capacity issue with that. I will make a water loading unloading station. And I guess that will probably be the building over here. And that hooks into the water tower, I guess. Doesn't need a pump or anything because the water tower is already elevated. I guess I'll place it down here. I'm still running out of money. We'll drop a water switch. And then we can load drinking water in here and don't have to go to the customs house anymore for that. We'll make our own drinking water, just need to provide chemicals to the area. With chemicals maybe getting delivered into a warehouse somewhere in the area. I guess we can have it delivered into this train station. Have some chemicals here. Pick them up and drive them up here to the water purification plant. That's probably the easiest setup. Not gonna make a dedicated warehouse for that. Reduce the amount of food in here. 40% and like 15% chemicals. That would be 30 tons. And we'll allow loading chemicals. Don't have to do anything else. Now they're going to pick up chemicals and alcohol. And once the water purification plant is in place, we'll buy a dedicated truck and that one is just going to run back and forth. Or I will just set up the distribution office to transport the chemicals over. Both, I guess, do work. I do have a bunch of bitumen ready for export. I guess the train arrives and decides it loads an equal amount of everything. So it leaves most of the bitumen here. Maybe I should do the export with the distribution office now. We could hook up all of these tank cars into the distribution office. I think I'll probably do that. I'll let the distribution office handle the export of materials. Or maybe not. Seems fine. That was a lot of bitumen. Okay, maybe we're not out of money quite yet. Footpaths are in place. We can reach the heating plant, no problem. 280 meters, plenty of distance left, so the amount of workers we have in the heating plant should not be an issue anymore. And I guess you can really go where you want. We have 44 unemployed workers. Maybe you can go to the prison and work there. Yep, seems to all be set up okay. We also have electricity in the area. Heating is directly connected to the heating plant. Might get a few pollution issues here and there. With the amount of population growing relatively quickly. Almost close to 4,000. Still no unemployment issues really. Just a lot of people complaining about no access to church. But we'll work on that. So, do I want a kindergarten? Not yet. I'll wait. I think we'll increase the loyalty requirement to something I haven't really had before. 80%, and maybe we can go even higher. Because all of our people basically have like the option to have vehicles, means that we have the potential of a lot of people just having cars. Speaking of a lot of people having potentially cars, we have a new parking lot here. We'll open that one up with 16 vehicles, and once we buy more vehicles for the other ones, we shall set them to allow anyone to take a vehicle pretty much. I guess I could have made the village university exclusive for vehicles, and then no other population pretty much would be able to live there because there's no local shopping, so. I still like the idea of having the village only habitable for people who do have a vehicle. Yes, there are a few local services that make sense to have here, like a school, because if you don't have school buses, then things get a little bit difficult. Otherwise, vehicle access is okay. Let's increase the amount of workers inside the university. Let's also maybe tell this residential building to send its workers again where they want to. Maybe we have workers in excess again. Maybe we can use the parking lots to have more people going to the oil refinery again and making us money. It would be a good thing to start making money again. Since this technical service is only responsible for distribution of water, that is something we can relocate. That is something we could relocate up here and free up this space for another residential building if we wanted to. And I think a relocation of that facility makes sense. So we have the water services in this area. We'll drive out here, pick up water, and then deliver it wherever it needs to go. This road shouldn't have that much traffic, so it should be fine. They can go either onto this main road into the town, they can go into the town this way, or they can go into the village by just going through the tunnel and then driving in there. Hello Yas. Welcome to the stream. I think all the footpaths are hooked up. Yeah. All but that one. I guess I could have turned the switch around so it faced the road, but it's fine. How do you make money in start, dollar or rubles? If you mean, well, the only way to make money is you either export resources or you use tourism. Tourism pays your money directly, but it's only really profitable if you are using your own workers and or making the resources yourself that run tourism, food, alcohol, etc. And export is basically any material you make can make a profit. The only money I'm making is from resource exports. I have made an oil refinery. So the only thing I'm exporting in addition to wastewater is fuel and bitumen. So these are my money-making resources. Wastewater costs me a little bit of money to export. I drive it away from the village. I still need to hook up my dumping area. I export a lot of materials, I guess. I don't have a lot of workers in the oil refinery right now because I switched to a lot of workers in the town and the city itself. So not many people are driving into the oil refinery at all times, but I am trying to increase that again. So I'm draining money right now. But in general it's profitable. I don't have a lot of other expenses. If we exclude, let's say, construction materials, so steel, gravel, clothing, food, electronics, meat, alcohol, chemicals sometimes. These are things I have to buy, but steel and gravel are not constant expenses. Well, my issue mostly is all the people are driving here by car, so if I want 500 people driving here by car, that would be 1,500 people per day on the road in cars. I don't have any buses. I have one bus. If a facility requires 500 workers, that basically means you need 1,500 people to work that. 1,500 workers, because you have to think, it says it needs 500 workers, but that means 500 workers for 8-hour shifts. And you have 24 hours in a day that can work this facility, so you need 3 workers to fill one slot, basically. Yeah. So you can't go, okay, this building has like 250 workers, that building has 500 workers it requires, so 2 buildings will be enough to fill this. You actually need 2 to fill it, but then you need to also multiply it by 3, because you have 3 shifts. They don't work 24 hours, they work 8 hours. And that's why you need way more workers for the buildings that you have. A shopping center with 45 people needs 135 people to work it fully. And so on and so on. That's one of the things that isn't very apparent when you start playing the game. You're wondering, where are all my workers? Why do I have so few? You just need way more people than you think you do. always have to think, oh, that building requires 15 workers, that means I need 45 workers to work it around the clock. And then you get the whole perspective of how many workers you actually need and can think about that. So this oil refinery would need 1,500 people to work fully staffed. So I think you probably need more residential buildings if you're lacking workers. It's a good idea to go for like 5 to 10% unemployment. Car dealer does not make money. Car dealer just distributes vehicles around your population. It's basically something that doesn't make you a profit. They still probably buy it and the car dealer gets some money, but you as the government do not see any money from that transaction. So it does not give you any taxes or anything, and you do not get money from that. As I said, the only way to make money is either exporting or tourism. So the way to make money from that is to build cars and export them. Oh, I also spent a lot of money on vehicles. If I check for all time, my vehicle import is 6 million rubles. So you can build vehicles and you can export them. In my run before that, before this one, I made my nation only make money by exporting vehicles, and it is possible to make a lot of money with that. You need to realize that if you're getting a production license from the west and then selling those produced vehicles to the east, they sell for a lot of money. So what you're doing is basically building Beetles and then selling them to the Soviet bloc. Or Mercedes buses, they're called Mars buses. The Mars 305 is a really good vehicle for that. You get a lot of money if you build that and then sell it. No, you can't import and resell vehicles. They have to be fresh off the factory and not touched. If you're importing them, then if you're trying to sell them again, they get sold back to the original country. You can't drive them to the eastern border to sell them. But you can buy resources from the eastern border and sell them to the western border and vice versa. There's also some money to be made that way. Not a lot, but some. Okay, traffic is picking up again. Especially the traffic to the town is increasing. The gas stations in this area do create a bit of traffic. Yeah, try a vehicle production line. Buy a license for the Beetle if you start early on, or if you have a later start. Or if you play for some time, buy the Mars 305 bus license. The 305 bus is, I think, the best bus in the game. Personal opinion, yeah. That one. It's very cheap. Can carry 95 people and drives 105 kilometers an hour. The 302 drives slower and can carry less but costs more. So this one is like a vehicle that I would use in like republics at most of the time. But any Western vehicle will do. You just need to make sure that you can export it. These are also very light, so you can carry them with trucks to the border if you don't have a train network. But you'll probably start out with like building the Beat 1200, loading that on trucks and selling it to the eastern border. And then you will get a lot more money from that. So I think it would sell for 2,000 to the western border, but probably 16,000 rubles or something like that. Good luck with that. No problem. The last residential block has finished construction. Unemployment is very high, but that is going to decrease shortly. Yeah. We have, or we should have, enough workers in the heating plant. In the prison, also enough workers here. Maybe increase that a little bit. I might have to take out a loan if this keeps going on. I thought we would see more traffic going and bringing people to the oil refinery again, but so far they haven't decided to do that yet. I will decrease the amount of workers in our courthouse. It takes a lot of workers to run that, if you set it to maximum. Fewer workers in our police station. Fewer workers in our secret police, I guess. I'll leave the shopping center by 10 workers less, so I have a little bit of a safety buffer in case we run into capacity. I don't like running this fully, because if you run it full and then you don't realize that there is shoppers waiting in front of the building, and they slowly start decreasing in loyalty, then you don't have a way to quickly increase that, if it is becoming a problem. So maybe now we have people picking up cars again and driving to the oil refinery. We'll see. We might need running water. The TV station is running through a lot of water really quickly. Alright, what's the situation here? Priority is given to the traffic coming from the tunnel going up there. There you go. This might have to be turned into an intersection with a traffic light. Pollution monitoring station is on fire. Those things happen. It's fine. Footpath tunnels are in place. Well, almost. I don't think it really matters for this area, but I do like them just for, I guess, roleplay. A weird thing. Maybe we need traffic lights. 3 traffic lights alternating. That seems okay. So not too much traffic, I guess. Excavator driving along the road, sure. Okay, looks fine. Heating plant capacity is also okay. We're not running into any issues here. We're using around 60% of our heating plant at minus 12 degrees. So we have a little bit of room to grow still. But our buildings are still not fully occupied. So demand will increase as our population grows inside the town. Yeah, we'll get the water purification plant and area in place. The road network that I have set up here is unfortunately not very conducive to being built really quickly, because it's like a lot of small segments of road infrastructure. I guess I might be able to accelerate it a little bit. Maybe not. Oh well. We'll have to wait until the road finishes. I guess I can maybe... No, I can't. Never mind. It's fine. I was thinking of removing that one, turning this into one construction block again. But it's okay. It's fine. As soon as we have this and these roads done, it shouldn't take long finishing this. So yeah, yes, if you're wondering, usually I don't use that many personal vehicles. This was basically a challenge set for myself to have almost all of our people transport themselves by a personal car themselves, so there's not really any bus routes in this area. We have a cement plant, cement storage hooked up, so we can start filling that one as well. Make it available on the rail network. Okay. I still have a lot of bitumen. I think it's time to designate you as a distribution office train. We'll unload any train after you're done and send you to the train depot. So you're doing one more run and then you'll be relegated to probably being sold. This train will deliver the materials to the customs house, and then it should unload all of its train cars into the distribution office, go to the train depot and end its route. And we'll hook up the rail distribution office, which already has 2 tank cars, to the selling of the produced materials, but we'll wait for the train cars to arrive first. I don't want to send two tanker cars out for selling the resources we have, because it's a lot more than 2 tankers worth of materials. There we go. All the tank cars being unloaded. And that train is going to be put into storage. Meanwhile, I'm going to tell our distribution office that where we are delivering oil to, we can now also load fuel and bitumen. Since we're storing 1,500, 10% would be 150. So 150, 300, 600. I want to wait until we have at least 600 in total before we run an export. Maybe 40% is too much, because we have 2 storage tanks. We need to do 20%. So we load both of these and set them to be sold at the customs house. Now we have a mixture of tanker cars, I guess. But we can change that at some point to make them more standardized and uniform. Don't need to do that right now. 670 tons of bitumen to be sold. No fuel. Our fuel storage for domestic fuel is almost full. Why are you unhappy? Just religion. That's okay. You can reach everything. You can't reach our culture building, I guess. That's a concern. Can I make that happen somehow? It's right there. How do I get a connection from this residential building to this building? All of these tunnels are already occupied. The footpath connection... I guess the footpath connection going around here might work. Can make this a thing. Let's take measurement. So unfortunately, wait a minute. Yeah, it's only connected with the road right now. Only to have a footpath on this side. Okay, back to measurement. We'll come out of this residential building. Gonna go here. That is too long. So we need to shorten that by somehow making this a connection, I guess. Just letting them onto the road and walking across is going to be sufficient. Not sure why I can't hook up to that road, because there's a snapping point. Oh, there's a... Right, I made this a weird junction. I'll turn that junction this way. And hooking up the footpath here. And then they can walk across. Somewhere in this area, 40 extra meters. They should then be able to get into the cinema. And culture shouldn't become an issue. The thing that would have probably happened is they would take a car and drive over here to visit the cinema. But that's like extra traffic that I don't want. .375 meters for you, up to here. So yeah, it should then be in range. And we are making good money again. I think we're now back to the point where we have enough workers driving to places. Also increasing our issues with traffic jams, of course. That one should be a one-way road, very much here. No one should be turning right to go that way, thank you. If you're coming down here and you really didn't want to, then I don't know what to do. I guess turn you here? Why would you come up this way and then try to drive this way? I don't... Maybe. I don't know. I don't really want a U-turn here. Or do I? People from here don't really want to go here, but people from this area might want to. So if those people are already driving this way, but those might want to. Yeah, okay. I guess we'll add the U-turn here as an option. It shouldn't cause any traffic issues. Famous last words. All of these constructions started. Things are so slow. Need to speed them along a little. Up to 2,500 workers now. Not bad. Let's see. If I were to institute running water, it would be in this area. We will probably have to institute running water because one delivery of water every now and then is getting used up too quickly. I will try first with this setup though. How's our road construction going towards the other town? There's the gas station. Second one. Where's the first one? Should be around here somewhere. There it is. Just Need some workers to finish that, and then we can deliver fuel here, so vehicles driving along this road should have access to fuel if they need it. Then we have these two. They still need road construction and regular construction. That's the second to last bit of road that needs building before we're actually in this area, and the rail line apparently is slower. Still haven't built the electric wire. Also need that. Otherwise we can't have people living here without electricity. Definitely need that for the heating pumps. People will probably move in sometime during the summer when heating isn't necessary, but they need to get the heating plant operational as soon as possible, so we don't have to worry about that. It's like a very critical piece of infrastructure. Okay, it's nice to know that everything works fine with the distribution office. I'll get rid of these two large tank cars. Or maybe those two, yeah, those two large tank cars are maybe more efficient than these two. One of them can hold 120 tons of fuel, these ones can hold 60. And they're shorter, so we'll probably have to get rid of these old ones at some point and replace them with the more shorter, more modern ones. I assume they're more modern. Doesn't tell me here, but I guess I can check. These ones are from 1965 and these ones are from 1973, so I guess these ones are more modern. But we don't have those because they can hold 68 tons and I think we have 60 tons. So there's another type of car. These ones. 59, so these ones are old ones. 12 meters, 21 meters. Yeah, I don't know which one would be the best choice. I think the long car with 120 tons is going to be fine for us. These ones hold a little bit more, but would also be slightly longer. Just gotta get rid of the old tanker cars at some point, I guess. But it's not really important, it's not urgent. It works right now and don't have any issues. These residential buildings will also take care of our water purification. Water pumping, water purification, etc. For that we will have chemicals ready here. We need a truck. I guess we don't need a truck, we need our distribution office to bring chemicals to the water purification plant every now and then. And they are not overworked. They have a very short distance to the commercial district, and now they don't have to buy anything from the customs house anymore, so they can do a few more tasks than that. And if everything is ready and set up correctly, we'll have a tank full of purified water with perfect quality. And we have a loading station here to send our new technical service to and distribute water around town. I think we have extra workers again. We have people waiting at the bus stop. A slight bit of unemployment. Many people actually driving to the oil refinery again, so we're making a consistent amount of money. It's looking pretty good. No complaints. Even traffic seems to be fine so far. But we are seeing a few instances of like traffic that is slowing down a little bit. Probably have to put a traffic light here, otherwise these ones always get priority. Let's put that in place. We can turn this into one-way roads again. Number 3 is nothing. Well, I guess 3 is priority, so... Let's see... 2 signal phases. 20 interval for both of them. And now everyone will have the same amount of time to go through the intersection every now and then. And winter is over. Or at least the snow is melting. Where are you going? Why are you going to the customs house? Wait a minute. Is that still a transport route? I think that's still a transport route. I think that's our initial truck that is only running back and forth, getting meat. We don't need that anymore, it's just sold you. We have the distribution office here, who can pick up meat and deliver it anywhere. Yep, no problem. What did we set our delivery to? Shopping center 80%. That would mean it would start driving at 2.3 would be 30, 0.3 would be 10%. So at 2.4 the meat delivery would be started. We don't really want that, do we? Let's lower that to 40%. So they'll wait a little bit longer before they start bringing materials. It's not that urgent. Delivery routes are short and we have plenty of materials. Supply lines are good. We'll get drinking water soon, don't worry. I guess we don't really need to bring any extra workers here. They can all walk into this construction site, so it's pretty pointless bringing more of them in here. I think all of these buildings had electricity. Yeah, that's all in range. Even the technical service should have electricity. Should be good to go. But yeah, I think I'm going to take a break now. It's getting fairly late. Past 2 AM. We did accomplish quite a bit this episode, I think. We increased our population dramatically. Got a bunch of more residential buildings in the area, most of them employed locally. But also people going back to the oil refinery and using the parking lots to drive here. and working locally, so very nice. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good start to your Easter. Enjoy your start to the weekend. Stay safe. As always, maybe I'll see you next time.